Hello everybody and welcome to our fabulous education for Flower of the Month. This is a couple of demos that I'm doing for our new wonderful poppy. Now I'm using some backing papers and things with this. I'm doing one that is more of maybe a home decor piece and then quite a simple card as well to make, and I'm doing a little bit of upcycling and recycling. Now the collection we're going to be using is this, and I've just fallen in love with this straight away. So we have our beautiful poppy. So this matte layer is our Split Unity, as always with what you get with our Flower of the Month. So that's the largest one. Then we have our little one. So this is a little bit smaller. And again, you're getting your matte layer, not Split Unity, this one. This is a solid one. And this is what I'm going to use for one of my demos. Then we have our lovely Builder Bouquet. So they're the three dies that we're going to be working with. And I've chosen 3 colourways. Now, if you're wanting to find the colourways, pop across onto our Highlight Craft website and you'll find all the colourways that are available there for this collection. The 3 that I've chosen are the red, which is the one that you get regardless. And I've got lots cut out here. Look at all this. So that's the basic normal standard colour. And then the alternative 2 colours that I've chosen is I've opted to go with the beautiful burnt orange and the yellow. So I'm actually going to take these out and just leave them out on my desk so I can pick a mix, let's say. And it's a beautiful array. Now this is my first demo. Let me just bring this in and show you. I've used, for the backing papers, we have our remembrance download. So quite, go again to Highlight Crafts and find that download. So there's backing papers there for you. But I've used our Craftmaster frames, which is just fabulous. And then this is a little bit of recycling. Now this is from a project that Mel was working with, and they were going spare, so I borrowed them. So what I've made myself is a little window. To put this in place and to hold it firm, I've actually got the Pinflair 3D glue gel under here. So I've glued it down these edges and made sure that I've got a good piece under here. And then what I did is I popped a little bit of something here to hold these open so they didn't close and fold down. So it's super easy. And then I've got a little bit of Cadence product on my window frames. And now I'm going to build my scene using our poppy. Now the tools I'm going to be using is I want my scissors, I want my 3D glue gel, I've got a ball tool, and I've got my mat, my shaping mat. Now in amongst all of this, I've got so much going on. Okay, come back to that one. And I'm going to go for the bigger pieces first. Now I'm going to do a little bit of decoupage into this, and some of these pieces I've already got cut out, ready and raring to go. And I just love the versatility of this. Now, when I'm building with my decoupage, I've said it many times, and there's no decoupage police. I like to work in 3s. So I've taken 3 elements, and I'm just going to start snipping into them. So my first one, I'm going to take that away. My first one is a whole one. My second one is this one. So that is my second one. And then my third one, you have to snip away what you originally did in the second one. So now we're down to what we originally had. And then I'm going to snip into this and take extra elements out, okay? So I'm taking all those seeds out, seed heads. And that leaves me with this. Do I want, yeah. I'm going to take all of that off. I just want the flower head. Okay, so it's really easy to do. But none of this is going to get wasted because I'm just going to tidy these elements up. Now they're all ready to use again for another piece. Now to shape these, I'm going to shape them from behind using my ball tool. And this is super easy with all of our dies because we've got all this detail. Can you see all these detail lines and these cuts? That is what's allowing me to put all this shape into the flowers without the paper and the cardstock cracking and splitting, okay? Because we've already got all that texture in the die. So just going to go around. So the first 2 I've shaped from the back 2 layers, and then that top layer I've shaped from the front. But I've turned that over and I'm just pressing that down. So I'm quite happy with that. So let's pop these 2 layers together. Okay. and I'm using my gel, but I'm also using, these are a must. They're the little Craftmaster glue applicators, and they're just fabulous when you've got something like this, especially when you've got little bits of detail, because you can't always get in where you need to add in those extra pieces like that. So this one is now going to sit on top of my main one, like so. Just adjust that on there. Quite happy with all of that. And then this is shaped from the front, so it's given me quite a nice dome, and that is going on my main piece like so. Now I'm just going to bring in this little one that I've already done just to show you. Now what I'm actually going to do with this, I'm going to cut another couple of layers of this from black cardstock, glue it on there. I'm then going to put a pin on the back, and I'm going to have that as a brooch pin on that I can wear on my clothes. So I'm going to put a little bit of enamel on there as well, which all of that you can get from our website. So that is then going to make myself a little pin badge, which again is just fabulous. Now I'm going to set that to one side because I want another couple of elements to add into our actual image. So I've got one of the smaller ones ready and raring to go. Okay, that's on that side. And then I want some of these smaller pieces. So here I have, these are the ones I want. I want the leaves and the seeds. And this one. And look, when you've got that Build a Bouquet die, these actual leaves are beautiful because they're tonal. They've got this lovely colourway through them. They're just wonderful to work with. Now, some of the snipping that I've already done, I've got some extra elements, okay? Now, on this one, I don't particularly want that stem. Pop that to one side. So now I know what I'm working with. I've got my leaves, I've got some of my poppy heads. I can now bring back in my image. Now, on the inside here, I'm going to work with the smaller one, just for now. I'm not adding too much shape. And again, add a little bit of 3D glue gel, because I just want a couple of these in the window, through the window. And then I'm going to decorate on this outside edge. I'm going to use my tweezers. Oops. And I can just pass that along under the windows like that. So that is now going to sit in there, like so. Then I have some of these extra pieces that I've already cut away. Pop that on the poppy heads themselves, like so. And then feed this in and under. So I'm now adding to that image on the inside edge. The poppy heads that I've already cut off and that are shorter, I'm going to bring these ones in, shape those 1, 2 and 3. And when I'm working with something like this, I like to work in threes, 3 layers, 3 of the flowers, 3 of the seed heads. Oops. So now bring that back in. That's going to sit just there. One a little bit further up, 2, and 3. So that are those, and then I've got another one And remember, we've already done that piece of decoupage, and this could be any of the colourways that you're using for building this. Remember, we've got quite a few colourways for this particular collection. So if you pop onto Highlight Crafts and find those, I believe there's 42 sheets that you've got to choose from for this particular one, which is incredible, really. Oops. So add that in there. Now I'm going to keep those to this side because I want that big one on this side here. So let's pick that one up, pop that on this edge. Can you see where we're going? But I want the smaller one as well that I did. And that is going to sit just in there, okay? Just going to have a little play at positioning where I might want these. Quite like that, okay? So I've intertwined those two. So now for the 3D glue gel on the back of these ones, like so. I'm just going to put a little bit on there, and then also on the back of this, but this one's very wet, so some of this I already prepared. So I've just got to be a little bit careful with this one that I don't disturb it too much. But again, using the 3D glue gel, that's the beauty of actually using that, is because you get the opportunity of moving it around. So that is the larger one. Whoops. That's my smaller one. So if I bring these two in, I want that tucked in there. If you remember, I slot those two together like so. That can sit on there. Lift that up and pop that on there. Wipe that little bit of gel away. And then I want a couple of pieces on this other outer edge just to balance this. So this is where those extra little pieces that I've already cut off will come in. So this one, oops, that one is going to sit behind on there, and then this one's going to sit at the front. Like so. And I love that I've been able to do a little bit of upcycling and recycling with this. So again, a little piece of home decor that I've chosen to create with these. Where's my other little one? I've got a small one somewhere. There we go. So we can all be doing this with our box frames, which is just fabulous. Remember, as always with Highlight Crafts, you can make and sell as well. So you can be making jewellery with these, because we've had some fabulous samples from our DT as always, and a couple of them have made some earrings. How to shrink plastic, and they look phenomenal. There we go. So that is the very first of the demos. And I think with the backing paper in the background, a few of those small poppies, I've managed to keep it balanced because I've gone with the two places. So I've got them at the front and then that's in the background behind. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these here to hold them secure, like so. But now if I just turn that round, that is a lovely little piece of home decor that you can pop on your wall, including, you know, a little bit of recycling so we can all make the frames like so. But then the next one is a really super simple card. Okay, so that's that one. Now I'm going to bring this in. So I've got a piece of white card, okay, folded it in half. Yeah, I've taken the remembrance backgrounds and they are identical. One is just the black and white one and one is the black and red one. Okay, it's not the really coloured one. Then what I've gone ahead and done with my die, so I've glued this in place, stuck it down, and then with my matte layer, I've placed that over the top, run that through my die machine and cut that out, which then leaves me with a piece that's dropped out and obviously the aperture. So what I can now do is close that up. I glued both pieces together, so I kept both of the dropouts, so the white cardstock and my backing paper I've glued together, so it's quite, you know, substantial, it's quite firm. And I'm actually going to put this on my card while it's closed, like so. So I'm going to line this up, put it back in the space it came out of, and then open my card. So I've got that lovely aperture, but then I've got that lovely splash of colour in the background. Again, super easy to do, okay? And now we're going to go and work with the orange and the yellow. So I have my little yellow and the small orange, and we're going to work with these two together. Okay, just move everything else up there out of the way. Now when you pop this on, I've chosen this colourway and changed it up a little bit because we have got an orange hue in here. I don't know if that comes across. And then we can also pop in the yellow, but look what happens when we use the yellow. Isn't that just amazing? It really does bounce off the page. Okay, so as I did before, I'm starting with my 3 layers, 1, 2, 3. My first one is a whole one. I'm just going to take those 2 pieces off, but I'm keeping those because I might need them. So that's layer number 2. Layer number 3, we have to take off what we've taken off before to keep it working correctly. And then I'm going to cut into this big and just take off that one poppy. But I am going to cut into this and tidy this up so I'm able to use this as an extra little tuck-in, okay? So that's giving me options. So now, very quickly, 1, working from the back, 2, and then again with this one, 3. And when you start working with something like this, you get used to the actual pieces where you cut the snips. So if you do a lot of decoupage, or maybe even turn this into a wreath, because that would just be beautiful. Some of the samples we had for this particular collection were just phenomenal. They really were beautiful. So I've got layer 1, layer 2, and then my third one, just lining it up. And it's just like working with a jigsaw puzzle. You just find those edges that match when you're doing your decoupage, like so. I've already stuck my base together. Open that up. Little bit of 3D glue gel, or you can use your foam pads. I like to use the glue gel because it does give me a little bit of wiggle room if I want it, but use any medium that you like to work with. Again, the 3D glue gel foam, a lot of this can be found on our website, highlightcrafts.com, and the colorways. If I pop that over the top, that fits perfectly. Put my glasses on. Whoops. There we go. That is beautiful. So now, when we close the aperture, that sits in there like so. But I just want to add a little bit extra decoration to this. So when it opens, it's not just on its own. So I am going to bring in the orange as well with this one. Like I say, there's lots of colourways. We've got blues and purples, yellows. We've got some that are faded out where the only around the edges of the actual poppy are coloured, which again creates a fabulous different look to your projects. Like so. So now bring this back in and we'll have a look at where I'm going to sit these. So I want the orange ones on first. A little bit of glue. I'm not going mad with these because these are going to sit a little bit flatter than the others. Now I'm looking at creating, so when that opens, like so, that will now sit there because that now opens like this. And then we have this one. You can, if you wanted to, just leave it with the aperture that I've built. That would be super easy. And then think about all your other flower of the months that you already have that you could actually work this technique with. So that one is now going to sit there. And then I've just got this yellow, which I'm going to extend a little bit further up and tuck it in behind the orange one. So that's extending my image like so. And because these are all coming in at the base, I want to add one of the pieces that I've taken away like so, okay, just to fill it in a little bit. Quite happy that sat there. And then these two yellow pieces, I'm going to shape the other way, snip off that little bit of branch that's been left on there. Let's take that away. Then this is going to sit on, oops, two. If I use my tweezers, it keeps my fingers out of the way so you can see. So I'm going to bring the yellow back in down here like so. So when we're actually looking at the card, we've got quite a lot going on there. You can see that we've got the backing paper as well. But when we open that card, if I turn that round, we've got the beautiful aperture that is surrounded by the flowers. But then on the inside, when they open that, we've got that lovely splash of that yellow poppy on the inside. And then if you want, you can also add in one of the sentiments. So that's a little bit big. And there's lots. Okay. Lots of sentiments for you to have a little play with. You can then mount this onto some black cardstock if you wanted to. Slide that in. And that just finishes it off with a little sentiment, like so. So we've got super easy card. Working with those backgrounds and that lovely aperture die that then creates, you know, very easy card. And I think the contrast with using the black on the inside and then the black and the colour on the front is just lovely. Or you can do something a little bit more and create maybe a piece of home decor to pop on either your windowsill or up on your wall. So that was our fabulous Flower of the Month poppy collection. So if that is you love what we've done and the education, it is available over on our Highlight Crafts website, highlightcrafts.com. Pop in the Flower of the Month poppy and you'll find everything there. There'll be a link at the bottom of this video for you, so it's super easy for you to find. So you just click on the link and it'll take you straight to it. And then there's lots of colourways there for you to choose from if that's what you want. So thank you again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of inspiration, whether it be home decor, making cards or making to sell. Okay. Make sure you show us what you're making. We'd love to see everything that you're doing with our Flower of the Months, and also build in your extra Flower of the Months. Use those other ones that you've already got. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.
If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button. Subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and click the bell icon to receive notifications of all of our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video, or click here to see more videos like this one.